Welcome to this special edition of Fox 4 News. We're here to get you storm ready for the upcoming 2024 hurricane season. I'm certified meteorologist Trent Eric.
And I'm certified meteorologist Katie Walls. It's so hard to believe that it's been nearly 2 years since Hurricane Ian devastated Southwest Florida.
I know, Katie, and many of our neighbors are still out there dealing with the aftermath.
The good news, though, there's a lot that we can do now ahead of our next hurricane to be prepared. Also, that preparation will help recovery be even easier. And we've assembled a big team of experts to show you how.
Hi, Katie and Trent. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dennis Phillips with the ABC Action News team here in Tampa. We're all part of a network of Scripps news stations that work together to cover every inch of Florida's Gulf Coast, from Tallahassee to Marco Island. And our team is working with Fox 4 in this special to help make sure everyone's really ready for this upcoming hurricane season.
Yeah, that's right, Dennis. There's even been some upgrades in the way that we forecast, especially going into this year. And if all the elements we're seeing come together like they're forecast to, we could be in for a very busy year. The forecasts for this upcoming hurricane season are out, and they are predicting a very busy season. For the first time ever, the experts at Colorado State University in their early season numbers are forecasting over 20 named storms for the year. On average, we normally see only 14 named storms.
A couple of big factors going into our forecast for this year. One is that the Atlantic remains record warm.
Water temperatures recorded in March were rivaling what we typically see in June. And as we start the season, our temperatures are where they should be in August. So what we're looking at here are temperatures that are going to run warm all summer long, and that's going to do nothing but help fuel potential storms.
Another big factor is that we currently have El Nino, which is warmer than normal water in the central and eastern tropical Pacific, but that's looking pretty likely to transition over to La Nina, which is colder than normal water in that same region. And La Nina tends to basically reduce levels of vertical wind shear. Too much shear tears apart hurricanes, so La Nina tends to bring less of that shear. So less shear from the La Nina, warmer waters providing more fuel for storms. That combination typically leads to very busy hurricane seasons.
We've seen this before. A very similar setup occurred in 2020, the most active season on record, and then again the following year in 2021, the third most active year on record. In 2020, we saw 30 named storms, 14 of those developed into hurricanes, and 7 of those were major hurricanes. So what does this tell us? Yeah, we're going to see a lot of storms this year. And could we be approaching record numbers? Likely. But what these outlooks don't tell us is where the storms are going to go. Look at 2020, for example. A little closer look, it was Louisiana that year that took the brunt of the landfalls, along with Texas. All we had to deal with here in Florida was the brush by Eta as it strengthened up our coastline.
It really only takes that one hurricane making landfall near you to make it a busy season. So regardless of our outlook, Noah's outlook, anyone else's, you need to be prepared.
Here's a good example of why you don't focus on the number of storms that are forecast for a given year. Look at 1992. That year, we only had 6 named storms. One of those was Hurricane Andrew. Andrew was the first storm to form that year, and that didn't happen until August. And that storm devastated South Florida, one of only 6 that year. We learned firsthand here in Southwest Florida, it only takes one storm to make it a busy year for us, and of course that was Ian a couple of years back. Katie, if the predictions are right, we have a lot to get ready for.
That we do indeed. So, trained meteorologists like ourselves, we have more tools in our arsenal for this year, especially for this season. Meteorologist Jason Adams with our sister station WFTS breaks down the changes that you can expect to see in this year's forecast cone.
You've already heard. The 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, it's likely going to be a busy one, with warmer Atlantic waters, lower wind shear as we transition to La Nina, and even lower Saharan dust off of Africa. All of this is setting the stage for a significant number of storms in the Atlantic this season. With all these storms now in the forecast, I want to make sure that you are aware of changes to the National Hurricane Center's forecast cone that will begin in August. I went to the National Weather Service office in Ruskin to discuss these changes with them. Let's revisit the cone you're used to, the one we've been using for years.
Typically, the National Hurricane Center would send out the cone that we are very used to seeing. And the cone would obviously give you the watches and the warnings for the hurricanes and the tropical storms. One of the cones that we had from this particular advisory, we already had some hurricane warnings, we already had some tropical storm warnings, and you can see here, mainly those were showing up along the coast of wherever the watches and warnings were.
New for 2024, the Hurricane Center has made a few key changes that will increase your understanding of impacts outside of the center line of the track, as well as the forecast cone.
The Hurricane Center has this experimental cone that they're going to try this year, and really what that cone is going to do is include the inland watches and warnings for hurricanes and tropical storms. This is a way to focus more on the impacts of the winds instead of just focusing on the coastline.
In addition to these changes, the National Hurricane Center will also now issue watches and warnings during intermediate advisories if needed. Those were previously issued during the full advisory packages at 5 a.m., 11 a.m., 5 p.m., and 11 p.m. The National Hurricane Center will also expand its text products in Spanish. While these changes may not sound like much, the hope is that those who solely focus on the cone, and especially the center line of the cone, will now have a better understanding of impacts based on warnings, not on the storm's path. As we know, storm impacts go well outside of the center and of the forecast cone, even up to several hundred miles.
Even though the cone itself is basically representing where the center of the storm is going, wind impacts are felt way far away from the center of the storm, including inland counties. So it's a better way for people to visualize where the impacts are going to be. So if you're inland Florida, yeah, you don't have the storm surge impacts, but you are going to have wind impacts.
So no matter where you live, inland or at the coast, now is the time to not just be prepared, but to fully understand what the cone means, what watches and warnings mean, and what you need to do to keep you and your family safe.
If we go back to June 2012, Debbie produced a lot of storm surge, killer tornadoes across all of west central southwest Florida. And so the message really from us is make sure you know what you're going to do today before that hurricane comes our way.
More than half of the lives lost here in Lee County during Hurricane Ian were due to storm surge, and all of those were preventable. People stay for any number of reasons during evacuations, but we want to make sure that you have the information necessary to leave when you need to make sure that you and your loved ones stay safe.
In Hurricane Irma, we over-evacuated southeast Florida by over 2 million people. Did not need to be on the road. And everybody remembers that picture of all those interstates, just lined up with people at a dead standstill. 2 million of those people did not need to evacuate.
And that was a big reason people didn't leave for Hurricane Ian, a past experience that weighed heavily into the decision to stay or to go.
That's a classic example of why people won't evacuate the next time.
Dr. Laura Myers is a senior research scientist and director of resilience at the University of Alabama's Center for Insurance Information Research. She studies how people perceive and react to severe weather, including major hurricanes like Ian.
People thought they would have time to evacuate if they needed to. One of the things that's happening with more recent storms is they're rapidly intensifying, and trying to educate the public that these storms are going to come in stronger and faster, and they won't have the same time to make adjustments that they did maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Creating a plan ahead of time is key. First off, know your zone. In Southwest Florida, those zones are labeled A through F, and evacuation zones are not the same as FEMA flood zones. Next, have 3 different evacuation routes in 3 different directions away from water. You don't have to travel far to get out of harm's way, as the Lee County Public Safety Director explains.
And we saw this during Irma, when we saw people driving, 8, 10, 12 hours to be able to get out of Florida. All you have to do is get out of the zones that are being evacuated. So it's not about driving hundreds of miles, it's about driving maybe 5, 10, 15 miles to get to someplace safe.
When an evacuation is ordered, put your plan into action. At that time, public emergency shelters will be opened, including special needs shelters designed especially for residents who are medically stable but depend on a medical device that requires electricity, such as supplemental oxygen. If you have special medical needs, pre-register now with the Florida Special Needs Registry. Select your county and fill out the form. This program, which is available to all Florida residents, ensures that you will be taken to one of your county's special needs shelters should the threat arise. Also, if you live in an evacuation zone but don't have transportation to get to one of the shelters, this program is for you as well. But you must sign up before we're ever in the forecast cone. That's the key.
You never know from event to event how it's going to be different from the last one. Don't rely on the fact that it may have never flooded at your location, because this may be the first time it does flood at your location.
Dr. Myers emphasizes being connected to the right sources of weather information, such as broadcast meteorologists, the National Hurricane Center, and the National Weather Service.
So you need as many ways to get information from those trusted sources as possible. Don't rely on one source, and don't rely on sources that are not verified, not official sources.
If you haven't already, download the Fox 4 app and allow push notifications so that you can stay informed about news and weather in your community.
How do you know what's happening at your location? That means having trusted sources and getting information that is geolocated to you.
On Bonita Beach, I'm certified meteorologist Katie Walls, Fox 4.
Next, see what's in the works to help your home stand up better in the next hurricane.
The damage from Hurricane Ian still evident here at Bonita Beach, and what can be so beautiful can turn deadly in an instant. Storm surge, it's the deadliest part of any landfalling tropical system. I'll break down what you need to know to stay safe this season. Coming up.
Storm Ready with Fox 4 is sponsored by Blockstrong.
No compromise in your safety. All-Phase Electric, providing residential, commercial, generator, and solar panel services. We can be your one-stop shop for all of your electric service needs. As a certified, trusted Generac Premier dealer, call today and you can receive a free 10-kilowatt air-cooled Generac generator with your purchase of a solar and battery backup system. A $4,000 value, free, while supplies last. Visit our website or call to see how All-Phase Electric can help power your everyday life.
As Floridians, we know that storms are a part of life, and hurricane season is here. That's why it's more important than ever to be prepared. At FPL, we're working every day year-round to get ready for storm season. And we want to make sure you're ready too. That's why it's crucial to develop a plan, stock up on supplies, and secure your home before severe weather hits. For a detailed storm guide, visit fpl.com/storm and download our mobile app to get real-time updates, track outages, and report any issues. At FPL, we work to keep you safe and informed throughout storm season. We're ready.
It's raining!
Are you? Don't wait until it's too late. Get ready today. FPL, working for you every single day.
We got for our birthday. Yes, but there's only one problem.
Let me guess, that the floors aren't Cortec?
Yes, that's right. Don't you want your dog to come inside and play?
And for spills, of course. Everybody knows that Cortec is waterproof, kid-proof, and pet-proof.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for letting us get our amazing floors at the family-owned and operated Floormeisters. The Floormeisters.
Just keeping it real.
Slider Genie. With over a decade of experience, our professional technicians are fully licensed and insured. Call or visit slidergenie.com today to schedule your free estimate. Slider Genie, making your slider wishes come true.
We all have things we'd like to see more of. And if you want to see more savings on your electric bill, you need Seymour Solar. Family owned and operated, Seymour Solar has been serving Southwest Florida for 50 years. From pool heating to full solar electric systems, our experts will customize a personal plan to meet your needs and your budget. See more savings with Seymour Solar. We stick it where the sun does shine. A Fox 4 home expert.
I'm Michael Paluska. There are a lot of ways that you can harden your homes for hurricanes, like getting impact-resistant windows. This one's from PGT. We just watched them fire this 9-pound 2x4 right into it.
Clear. Fire.
The 2x4 flies through the air at 34 miles per hour. Slow motion at 240 frames per second stops the action as it takes a dead center aim at the window.
This test is a large missile impact test.
How did this one do?
This one did very well, yep. So we can see that, again, the glass broke. And if you look closely, you can see there's two separate pieces of glass. You can see that some of it's broken in the back and some of it's broken up here. So it kind of similar brake patterns, but a little bit, kind of offset on each other.
Fire.
After they smash it, more tests.
Then we have to put this on a wall with a blower behind it. Basically pressurizes the backside of the window, and it'll apply a pressure and release the pressure 4,500 times. So that's simulating the hurricane kind of blowing against the building.
A shingle from a roof just came out of nowhere and just exploded into our window. We didn't need a simulation. During Hurricane Ian, photographer Reed Moeller and I lived through it.
We're standing in the middle of the house because the house that we're in is basically surrounded by windows, and it's getting nailed with debris.
While in the eye wall, a shingle smashed into a window, a good reminder to stay away from glass and doors.
Once the roof goes off, everything on the inside is going with it.
But strong windows won't matter if you lose the roof. Kyle Mishler is the owner of CAM Roofing and the preferred vendor for Habitat for Humanity of Pinellas and West Pasco counties. He is talking to us about hurricane straps and clips like this.
Yeah, this is a twist clip. This hurricane clip will go on the wall, and then the wood rafter would get nailed into here. You got 3 nails here. Now, the tensile strength on this is here. After Michael came through in the Panhandle, I saw what it looked like with a non-protected home and a home that had something like this. 2 neighbors, one brand new roof with the newer updated codes at the time. Roof was intact, and then one right next door that was due to replace his roof, completely gone, ripping out all his drywall inside the house. Just pure devastation.
So that's the aluminum hurricane strap that they're talking about. He's now nailing it into the truss, and then he'll wrap it over, making sure that this entire home is secured to the ground.
It locks it all down.
Every single truss gets a strap.
Our garage doors are rated for hurricane winds, yes.
Jordan Gibson, VP of Construction for Habitat, gave us a tour of a new home.
This is all bolted into the blocking.
Everything is hurricane-proof, from the garage door to the impact-resistant windows, roof, and shutters for added protection.
And this ensures that your door won't blow open.
So the weakest point of a home will fail first and then take the whole home?
Absolutely, every single time.
In 2018, during Hurricane Michael, 5 Habitat for Humanity homes survived the Cat 5 winds as others were ripped apart. The block structures and hurricane roof straps held strong, the roofs shining bright in a field of destruction.
It's exactly why we have it quality controlled.
Because when the next storm hits, because it will, it is better to be prepared for whatever flies your way. In Pinellas County with photojournalist Reed Moeller, Michael Paluska, ABC Action News.
It's been 20 months since Hurricane Ian devastated Southwest Florida. I'm Fox 4 certified meteorologist Katie Walls at Bonita Beach, where the Gulf of Mexico rose 12.5 feet, flooding anything on the ground level and even destroying some second-story structures.
We had probably 10 to 12 feet of water here. Everything here was underwater.
This is what Dolphin Way looked like on May 1st when Fox 4 Investigate spoke to condo owner Jim Bain, who is still battling insurance and picking up the pieces of his paradise nearly 2 years later. The condominium complex located on Little Hickory Island at the north end of Bonita Beach was one of more than 52,000 structures damaged in Lee County by Hurricane Ian, and one of the 14,000 buildings that sustained major damage. More than 5,000 homes and businesses were destroyed.
So what exactly is storm surge? Storm surge happens when a tropical storm or hurricane offshore forces walls of water onshore, flooding homes and businesses. And this was Hurricane Ian. Now keep in mind, winds around an area of low pressure or a tropical storm or hurricane circulate counterclockwise. So that forced all of the water right here in that front right quadrant right on shore. That's why the concentration of the worst of the storm surge affected parts of Lee into Collier counties. As a matter of fact, we had 10 to 15 feet of storm surge flooding Sanibel all the way to Vanderbilt Beach. But even spots like Pelican Bay, downtown Naples, Marco Island, and Everglades City had 6 to 9 feet of flooding surge.
In total, Ian's surge killed 41 people in Florida. Almost all of them, 36, were in Lee County. One of the key things to remember, you don't have to be in the forecast cone to be impacted by deadly surge. That was the case in Collier County, where 3 of the 5 reported deaths were from drowning in storm surge.
The cone, again, is only for the center of the storm, but the impact spread far away from that, even far away from the cone. And that's why often, or almost always, the watches and warnings for hurricanes and for storm surge will extend away from the cones.
Here at the beach, we are in evacuation zone 8. But how do you know if you're vulnerable? You need to know your evacuation zone. So if officials call for an evacuation in your location, you know to leave immediately. For more information on which zone you're located in, visit our website, fox4now.com. In Bonita Beach, I'm certified meteorologist Katie Walls, Fox 4.
Flooding, something little talked about, especially in our inland communities from Hurricane Ian. Here in Arcadia, the Peace River reached over 23 feet. I spoke to DeSoto County Emergency Management about what that means for hurricane season.
One of the main reasons people don't evacuate during hurricanes is because of their pets. Well, we want to make sure that you're prepared this season. Coming up, I'll break down what you need to know to make sure you and your fur babies stay safe.
Storm Ready with Fox 4 is sponsored by Bill Walther Roofing.
It's good to have a roof over your head. It's even better to have a Bill Walther roof. I'm Darla Walther, 4th generation of roofing professionals right here in Southwest Florida. We're the only company in the area that is Master Pro certified, using the highest quality materials to ensure your home is safe and secure year-round. Plus, no upfront deposits. You only pay when the job is complete.
Bill Walther Roofing.
Often imitated,
Never duplicated.
Call us today for a free estimate.
The simple act of cooking can turn catastrophic in an instant. FlowStop reminds you to always have a working fire extinguisher within easy reach. If your home is damaged by fire or smoke, don't delay. FlowStop Restoration is ready to step in and restore your home to its original state. From moderate to severe damage, our experienced professionals are on call 24/7 and ready to help you return to normal as soon as possible. Inspections are free, so call FlowStop Restoration today, a Fox 4 home expert.
We all have things we'd like to see more of. And if you want to see more savings on your electric bill, you need Seymour Solar. Family owned and operated, Seymour Solar has been serving Southwest Florida for 50 years. From pool heating to full solar electric systems, our experts will customize a personal plan to meet your needs and your budget. See more savings with Seymour Solar. We stick it where the sun does shine. A Fox 4 home expert.
Advanced Mobility Medical Depot, providing you quality products, exceptional service, and low prices. From scooters to wheelchairs and recliners, everything to maintain your independence while keeping you comfortable and safe. Our caring team is here for you during and after your purchase. Hundreds of products in stock.
Stop in for the lowest in-store prices in Southwest Florida.
See what personal service is all about. Advanced Mobility Medical Depot.
Fox 4, in your community with journalists who live where you live.
Like many of my neighbors here in Punta Gorda.
And share stories from your neighborhood every day.
Homeowners in this area say they want that boat removed.
Understanding the issues that matter most to you.
Since I work in this area almost every day, I'm going to be answering that question for people.
Fox 4, in your community. Get it now on fox4now.com.
Sometimes you see it, and sometimes you just start to smell
that weird musty smell.
It is a smell that is undeniable, unhealthy, and unwanted. So if you come across mold in your home after a storm or maybe a leak in your house, you want to take immediate action.
Just make sure all your bases are covered.
That's Maya Dunham, Marketing Director at FlowStop Restoration, a family-owned company based in Punta Gorda that's restored homes and businesses impacted by fire, water, and mold for the last 5 years. Maya says take videos and pictures of your home now and right after a storm hits, of course, when it's safe to do so.
If God forbid something does happen, you're able to, show your insurance, this is the damage that came from the storm, and you have evidence.
So let's say following a storm or a leak in your home, it is evident that you have mold, which can of course lead to health problems and an absolute need to clean and dry everything, and in some cases throw items away within 24 to 48 hours. Well, FEMA recommends wearing protective gear if you're going to clean it yourself. They also say clean with water and detergent. And this one's a slight misconception that I have heard multiple times before. Don't just paint or caulk the mold. The area's got to be properly cleaned, the mold removed and disinfected before repairs can take place. Now, some of you know this. Cleaning it up can be daunting. You want it to be gone and you want it to be done right. So some of you might consider an expert, a professional. And with that, Maya reminds us,
it's really important to get a credible professional's help. When you have it professionally done, that can prevent further water damages.
And she tells me at FlowStop, they do offer free inspections.
If anything goes wrong, we're here to help you.
So you can find out more about FlowStop Restoration when you go to our website, fox4now.com. I also put a link to FEMA's information regarding cleaning up mold in your home after a storm. You can find that on our website as well. In studio, Shari Armstrong, Fox 4.
2 years ago, Hurricane Ian brought heavy rainfall to parts of southwest Florida. That all led to here, Lake Okeechobee. I spoke to the Army Corps of Engineers about how they're preparing for the upcoming hurricane season.
Plus, there are still so many of us waiting for payouts from our insurance companies.
And that's if you can get insurance, because sometimes the insurance companies are trading your policy away.
That's right. Some of you are dealing with citizens. So our team of experts met up with the CEO to find out if you will be covered this season.
Storm Ready with Fox 4 is sponsored by All Phase Electric.
No compromise in your safety. All Phase Electric, providing residential, commercial, generator, and solar panel services, we can be your one-stop shop for all of your electric service needs. As a certified, trusted Generac Premier dealer, call today and you can receive a free 10-kilowatt air-cooled Generac generator with your purchase of a solar and battery backup system. A $4,000 value free while supplies last. Visit our website or call to see how All Phase Electric can help power your everyday life.
Fox 4 in your community with journalists who live where you live.
Like many of my neighbors here.
And share stories from your neighborhood every day. Fox 4 in your community.
Hey, it's Spiro, and when you're making your next out-of-state move, call the trusted long-distance expert, The Good Greek. As a former police officer, I know of the risks of moving cross-country, and my Superhero Mover Academy graduates are professionally trained and vetted for a safe and stress-free move. So no matter the distance, The Good Greek will move you there safely. Schedule your long-distance move today at goodgreek.com.
Good Greek, moving and storage, your superhero movers.
Beautiful, possessing qualities that give great pleasure. Inspiring, to give rise to creative and exciting new ideas. Entertaining, as in amusing, pleasing, or hosting friends. Exquisite, something that is finely detailed, delighting the senses. Cozy, a feeling of comfort and warmth. Cornerstone, welcome home.
Maintaining your pavers can be a constant battle. With the Florida sun, stains, and daily wear and tear, Paver Protectors has you covered. We offer an affordable service to protect one of the most expensive areas on your property. Whether it be a driveway, pool deck, walkway, or patio, Paver Protectors can protect it all with an easy process. And with friendly, affordable service, we invest our best into your home. Call Paver Protectors today and restore your curb appeal.
A Fox 4 home expert.
Cash for your home? I'm Kevin Bartlett of Knowledge Based Real Estate. The market has slowed down, but we can still offer you great terms and a fair price. Save on broker fees and closing costs, reduce the hassle and stress. Call for your cash offer today.
I'm Nadine Yanis. You cannot talk hurricane season without talking insurance. With more than 1 million policies in Florida, even the governor has questioned whether Citizens property insurance could pay out claims if we were to see a major storm. The company is supposed to be the insurer of last resort and has been depopulating policies for months.
On February 20th, 12:01 a.m., Florida Peninsula Insurance Company assumed full responsibility for claims previously issued by Citizens.
Joanne Baccia emailed us frustrated after getting this letter from Citizens that she was one of the 114,000 people already this year being depopulated.
I get a Dear John letter. Goodbye from Citizens. We're putting you in Florida Peninsula. I have no say on any of it. This is what I'm forced into. So Citizens can push me somewhere else for 20% more. They don't have anybody to answer to for that. I have nothing to say about it.
And her theory on depopulation?
Maybe the goal is for the insurance companies and our government to get rid of the old timers who have been comfortable all these years.
But Citizens says as we approach this hurricane season, they have to depopulate and reduce the risk in the state.
Thoughts on Citizens saying they're trying to reduce their risk? That's why you...
I don't care about that risk. I care about my risk. I care about my home. I can't afford their risks.
Joanne's situation is one many Floridians are also going through, and it's where my conversation with Citizens CEO Tim Serio now comes in. Can Florida's insurer of last resort pay out those claims if a storm hits? It's a question that has now sparked a federal probe by a U.S. Senate committee after Governor DeSantis says that Citizens is, quote, not solvent.
We do have a good story to tell, and we just need to tell it.
It seemed like the governor's comment on Citizens being not solvent stirred some things up a bit.
He's very concerned that if there was a major storm and it came through and Citizens surplus and reinsurance is depleted, that we would have to charge assessments.
And now you have some scrutiny from Congress.
And one of the things that you could very easily foresee is misplaced panic being caused by that letter, because the letter suggested we would not be able to pay claims and that we would seek a federal bailout. That has never happened. Even after 04-05 hurricane seasons, there was never a federal bailout sought.
I'm going to ask it in a very pointed way.
Sure.
Would Citizens be able to pay out those claims?
Yes, we will always be able to pay claims.
Here's how it would work. If Citizens runs out of money after a major storm, an up to 15% surcharge would hit all Citizens policyholders, and then a 10% assessment would hit all other Floridians, homeowners or not.
An assessment hits every policy.
So we're talking like car, even pet
boat,
policies.
Pet policy, maybe, yes. Yeah, it could be pretty significant. And again, that's why, you know, in the past, it has been usually a very small percentage spread out over a period of years, but nobody wants to have to face that.
Serio says internally, Citizens has merged its surplus accounts. They are now prepared for a 1 in 96-year storm, with another 300,000 policies expected to be depopulated in 2024 so they can continue to reduce their risk. In studio, I'm Nadine Yanis.
We're getting you storm ready with Fox 4. I'm senior reporter Caitlin Knapp. It's hard to believe Hurricane Ian happened nearly 2 years ago. It seems longer than that. For some, it's still impacting them today.
Images and sounds from Hurricane Ian are still vivid for so many of us in Southwest Florida. People like Janelle Bennett. She lived in Southeast Cape Coral and planned on going to a hotel during Ian, but the hotel ended up closing just before the storm hit.
My plan B was at that time to just stay put and just have faith that everything was going to be okay.
That faith brought Bennett to her landlord's home, riding out the storm there until the sun came up.
And we decided to take a risk and drive over there and see what it looked like.
She also drove by my house, letting me know it flooded. I knew Bennett before Ian because she was my property manager, and while dealing with 3 of her flooded properties,
life changed for both of us.
She had to process what happened to her own home.
It was not expected at all because we just figured we'd be able to go back there and live there again the next day.
You could see the water line on the couch.
The front window was broken. The back lanai had collapsed, so we lost a lot of family albums.
Because of her connections, Bennett was able to find another rental a few days later, putting a roof over her head and her mother's. Though nearly 2 years later, this storm is still making an impact.
And my mom is still scared, though. She still has PTSD from Ian. I think there's still remnants of things from the hurricane, things I'm missing that I used to have.
She's piecing together the life that she had here on this lot where her home used to be. And she's sharing her knowledge as a property manager with you so you can be storm ready, even as a renter.
An owner can choose to or not to put up hurricane shutters.
So if you're going to put up shutters, check your lease, because Bennett says many do not allow you to put plywood on the windows. Also, take a video before,
Destruction, damage,
and after the storm.
Start in the front of the house. You say today's date is, whatnot, and then you do a full video from the front to the back of the house.
Send it right away to your landlord.
That way they kind of know what's going on ahead of time at their house.
She says have renter's insurance and a backup plan if you cannot stay home. But most importantly, just like in our case with both of our homes flooding,
be understanding of people and what they're going through at the moment, as we were with each other when we were going through it.
In Cape Coral, Caitlin Knapp, Fox 4.
When you think about Hurricane Ian, you think about Fort Myers Beach, the storm surge, and what's little talked about is what the impacts were in places like DeSoto County. Here in Arcadia at Veterans Park, water reaching 23.7 feet, 12.7 feet above flood stage. That led to water just about to the top of this building, and I want to show you how far away the Peace River is, actually 250 feet away from this building. And the river, while it is kind of low right now, just shows you how high that water got. Now, I did speak to DeSoto County Emergency Management about Hurricane Ian and the lessons learned from that storm, and now how they're applying it to this upcoming hurricane season.
Either driving around or helicopter and seeing where you could barely see a rooftop, or you saw a trailer or something that was floating down the river.
Rick Kristoff is the Emergency Management Director for DeSoto County. He was running the county's Emergency Operations Center during Hurricane Ian, a storm that brought what he calls unprecedented flooding.
Even talking to people, that had been here during some of the other hurricanes, Irma, Charlie, those were more wind events, not as much flooding. Historically, there's certain areas that there's going to be flooding that's going to occur. Certain roadways are going to be impassable, but nothing like we experienced there.
Hurricane Ian dropped over a foot of rain on Arcadia over 3 days, including 10 inches in just 6 hours during the peak of the storm. That rainfall plus additional water flowing from central Florida caused both Horse Creek and the Peace River to reach record high levels, washing out several major roadways.
Some of them where they had collapsed. So everything was impassable in those areas. We had some areas that were isolated where the only way to get to them was from boats and airboats.
The flooding didn't just damage infrastructure, but also severely impacted the agricultural industry.
With a large amount of cattle being lost, a large amount of acreage and crops being impacted by that, and it takes years to recover from that.
University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences estimated commodity losses in the county to be over $66 million directly from Ian.
With the amount of water that we ended up getting, definitely I think people don't always think of that, and they relate it to the last incident, the last, hurricane, where maybe the impacts weren't as bad, so they're like, this isn't going to be as bad either.
Dr. Laura Meyer, a senior scientist and director of resilience at University of Alabama, says that is a dangerous mindset to have.
Nobody should think they're safe because you never know where this rain is going to fall. You never know from event to event how it's going to be different from the last one. Don't rely on the fact that it may have never flooded at your location, because this may be the first time it does flood at your location.
This is why, even if you're in an inland community, now is the time to prepare. According to NOAA, 55% of deaths in a hurricane come from freshwater flooding. Also remember, if you do see a flooded roadway, do not attempt to drive through it. Just a foot of rushing water can carry your car away. In Arcadia, meteorologist Andrew Shipley, Fox 4.
Katie, when a storm is coming or after it hits, how does someone know the information they're getting is accurate?
Thankfully, that's an easy answer. Make sure to download the Fox 4 app so that way you know the information that you are seeing is legitimate.
There you go. That's right. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to let you know the ways that you can guarantee what you're seeing is correct.
Be storm ready with Fox 4. Download our free app.
Storm Ready with Fox 4 is sponsored by Advanced Hurricane Technology.
After each AHT installation, a representative visits the customer to ensure the products are working correctly. Customer satisfaction is our first priority. In return, our customers have given us nearly 200 positive reviews. Our rolling screens are one of our most popular products, not only protecting your home from storms, but also providing shade and privacy. You can see out, but you can't see in. Call today or visit us online to discover why. AHT means quality.
Don't settle for any pool finish. Choose PebbleTech. Siesta Pebble will enhance your poolside with a natural finish at a price that fits your budget. It's the high quality you deserve, so go with the real PebbleTech at Siesta Pebble. Locally owned and operated right here in Southwest Florida, serving our community as a licensed PebbleTech applicator for 3 decades. Call now or visit our website for a free estimate. Let us make your dream pool a reality. Siesta Pebble is a Fox 4 home expert.
We all have things we'd like to see more of. And if you want to see more savings on your electric bill, you need Seymour Solar. Family owned and operated, Seymour Solar has been serving Southwest Florida for 50 years. From pool heating to full solar electric systems, our experts will customize a personal plan to meet your needs and your budget. See more savings with Seymour Solar. We stick it where the sun does shine. A Fox 4 home expert.
The simple act of cooking can turn catastrophic in an instant. Flow Stop reminds you to always have a working fire extinguisher within easy reach. If your home is damaged by fire or smoke, don't delay. Flow Stop Restoration is ready to step in and restore your home to its original state. From moderate to severe damage, our experienced professionals are on call 24/7 and ready to help you return to normal as soon as possible. Inspections are free, so call Flow Stop Restoration today, a Fox 4 home expert.
Dad, can we go to the beach today?
Well, let's see, buddy. I think temperatures might be in the mid-80s. You know, matter of fact, there's going to be a high right here in the Gulf. A light breeze, high waves will probably be 1 to 2 feet, and you know, we can't forget the sunscreen, right? UV index of 9. Low brings some showers later in the
Fox 4 meteorologist Trent Eric, always a weather expert, always watching out for you.
Yeah, I think today's pretty good. Let's go to the beach.
Slider Genie. With over a decade of experience, our professional technicians are fully licensed and insured. Call or visit slidergenie.com today to schedule your free estimate. Slider Genie, making your slider wishes come true.
In Cape Coral, I'm Fox 4 certified meteorologist Katie Walls. Thanks for watching Fox 4. We see it every hurricane season. Misleading headlines, misinformation circulating across the internet. But when a storm is threatening your neighborhood, you want to make sure that what you're seeing is real.
Our reporter with our script station in Tampa, Lydia Vasquez, she has the very latest, and she talked to the Poynter Institute to let you know what resources you can use this season that you can really count on.
June is just around the corner, meaning hurricane season is quickly approaching. A reminder to be on alert. Alex Mahadavan, director of MediaWise at the Poynter Institute, says the majority of the time, misinformation begins as soon as a storm pops up.
It's really important to be skeptical of pretty much any post that scares you during a hurricane or the run-up to a tropical storm of any type. So when you get slightly emotional, it's always a cue to check it out.
Every year, hurricane season creeps in, and without a doubt, Mahadavan says fake images and clickbait headlines resurface.
One really fun piece of misinformation that we see every single year when there's a hurricane and lots of flooding, you will see an image of a shark swimming on a freeway. That is not real. It's a photoshopped image, but it crops up every single time.
Mahadavan tells me so many people are getting their information from Facebook or TikTok, where it's summed up in less than a minute with little to no context.
It's also very easy for people to share footage of old disasters or old hurricanes or buildings collapsing in other parts of the world and try to pass it off as something that is happening right now. So it's incredibly misleading.
Mahadavan says the best way to navigate the loads of information being thrown your way this upcoming hurricane season, ask yourself a few questions like, who's the source?
When you see a clip on TikTok or you see a post on Facebook, one, who's behind the information? Are they an expert? Are they a journalist? Is it a local news organization? Or is it some guy who likes to share wild footage of tornadoes? Then you got to be careful. Number two, what's the evidence? Did they cite any sources?
Because there are so many voices competing for clicks and views online, Mahadevan says a little research and relying on trustworthy sources can save your life.
Tuning into your local news station, picking up your local newspaper, you can find out everything you need to know about how to prepare for a storm. Our local governments, they put out press releases, they put out all sorts of information about storm preparedness. And of course, the National Hurricane Center is a great source of information.
In Pinellas County, I'm Lydia Vasquez, ABC Action News.
I'm Fox 4 meteorologist Andrew Shipley along Lake Okeechobee in Glades County. And behind me is a portion of the Herbert Hoover Dike. Now, this dike is important not only just for flood management, but emergency management. And this dike actually protects communities like Moorhaven and Lewiston from flooding. Something we saw in the 1920s that killed thousands of people. I spoke to the Army Corps of Engineers about what they expect this hurricane season and how improvements to this dike is going to help those communities as well.
It had a massive impact. That was a wall of water that went through those areas and took a lot of lives with it.
The Herbert Hoover Dike you see today around Lake O can link its roots back to the 1926 Great Miami Hurricane and the 1928 Okeechobee Hurricane. Both storms caused significant flooding from levee and dike failures around the lake. The Great Miami Hurricane alone killed more than 100 people in Moorhaven, while the Okeechobee Hurricane killed nearly 2,000 people near Belle Grande.
That is why the Army Corps of Engineers is here. In the late 20s and 30s, did the design work and started construction of Herbert Hoover Dike in the 30s, and then the central and southern Florida system to kind of wrap around it in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and early 70s.
And the dike continues to be improved. Nearly $2 billion worth of investment has been spent to improve the system over the last 2 decades. Colonel James Booth, the district commander for the Jacksonville district, says those improvements include better armor around water control structures and new water cutoff walls in many of the culverts.
Someone said recently they are happy that they are working emergency operations. One of our team members said this, that they prefer in 2024 to be doing emergency operations and inspection on the Herbert Hoover Dike rather than 20 years ago. It's the best shape it's ever been in.
And these improvements have allowed the Corps to hold more water in the lake.
And even 3 or 4 years ago, if the lake got above, let's say it was 15 feet in elevation above sea level, 15 and a half feet, we would be out there on a regular basis checking weak spots that we knew of. We have a lot more tolerance now because we know those areas are fixed.
The lake still has its limits. That's why the Army Corps released high volumes of water from the lake this past February. With those releases and evaporation off the lake, it's down 2.5 feet. Colonel Booth says it gives them enough space for this wet season's rainfall.
That sets a fairly good condition to accept what would be a typical wet season amount of water that will come into Lake Okeechobee in the system.
But any extra rainfall from a tropical system would likely have to be quickly moved out of the lake in case there is another storm behind it.
And then we've seen hurricanes that can blow effectively a storm surge on the lake over 10 feet of water. So just imagine 10 feet of water shifting up against the embankment on the interior. We want to make sure that there's room for that so that that water's not sloshing over the top. And that can create another failure mode.
One of the main reasons people don't evacuate during hurricanes is because of their pets. Well, we want to make sure that you're prepared this hurricane season. Should an evacuation be issued, we want to make sure that you stay safe as well as your fur babies.
During Irma, we did have, at the beginning when it first started evacuating, we had 2 pet-friendly shelters. At the end of evacuation, all the shelters were pet-friendly, and that's what we did with Ian too. People are either going to leave their pets behind or not leave because of their pets.
While it varies from county to county, in Lee County, all domesticated animals are welcome in emergency public shelters. But Karen Frick, the public information specialist for Lee County Animal Domestic Services, explains a shelter should be your last resort.
See who you have that are friends or family that are outside of flood zones, that are more inland, that you can possibly go stay with them. Have that set up ahead of time. That is the best alternative if you have to evacuate, is to go to someone's house that you are familiar with and that your pet might be familiar with.
Another option, pet-friendly hotels. Websites such as petswelcome.com list hotels that are friendly to you and your four-legged family members, and you don't have to travel far. Have at least 3 in mind in different directions, and be sure to call first to make sure they can accommodate you.
The best thing you can do for your pet to plan ahead is to make sure they are microchipped.
If you and your pet are separated, Frick says that offers the best chance to be reunited.
It's only $10 in our clinic. Make an appointment. You can't get much cheaper than that. Or if you go to one of our vaccine clinics, it's free.
Just like we have hurricane prep kits, you want to build one for your pets too. They should include a collar and leash for cats and dogs with ID tags, water and food bowls, health records and medication in a waterproof bag, toys and bedding, 1 gallon of water per animal per day, and plenty of food.
You want to have food for at least, they say 2 days, I say 2 weeks. After Ian, buffer that more.
Frick says that an airline crate is the best way to protect your pets during a storm, whether you're staying at home or at a shelter, because it helps reduce what can be stressful sounds.
This is what's called an airline crate. They're the ones that you take on the airline, and they buffer sound. So these are much better inside any kind of storm for the pets than the wire ones. If you only have a wire one, it's fine. Make sure you have a blanket you can put over it.
And just like humans, pets have just as much anxiety about evacuating. So if you do have to go to a shelter as your last option, just make sure you have things that can keep them comfortable and calm. In Lee County, I'm Fox 4 certified meteorologist Katie Walls.
Storm Ready with Fox 4 is sponsored by Florida Power and Light.
As Floridians, we know that storms are a part of life, and hurricane season is here. That's why it's more important than ever to be prepared. At FPL, we're working every day year-round to get ready for storm season. And we want to make sure you're ready too. That's why it's crucial to develop a plan, stock up on supplies, and secure your home before severe weather hits. For a detailed storm guide, visit fpl.com/storm and download our mobile app to get real-time updates, track outages, and report any issues. At FPL, we work to keep you safe and informed throughout storm season. We're ready.
It's raining!
Are you? Don't wait until it's too late. Get ready today. FPL, working for you every single day.
Advanced Mobility Medical Depot, providing you quality products, exceptional service, and low prices. From scooters to wheelchairs and recliners, everything to maintain your independence while keeping you comfortable and safe. Our caring team is here for you during and after your purchase. Hundreds of products in stock.
Stop in for the lowest in-store prices in Southwest Florida.
See what personal service is all about. Advanced Mobility Medical Depot.
Beautiful, possessing qualities that give great pleasure. Inspiring, to give rise to creative and exciting new ideas. Entertaining, as in amusing, pleasing, or hosting friends. Exquisite, something that is finely detailed, delighting the senses. Cozy, a feeling of comfort and warmth. Cornerstone, welcome home.
Hey, it's Spiro, and when you're making your next out-of-state move, call the trusted long-distance expert, the Good Greek. As a former police officer, I know of the risks of moving cross-country, and my Superhero Mover Academy graduates are professionally trained and vetted for a safe and stress-free move. So no matter the distance, the Good Greek will move you there safely. Schedule your long-distance move today at goodgreek.com.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Cash for your home? I'm Kevin Bartlett of Knowledge Base Real Estate. The market has slowed down, but we can still offer you great terms and a fair price. Save on broker fees and closing costs, reduce the hassle and stress. Call for your cash offer today.
Get it now on fox4now.com. Fox 4 News, free 24/7. Get started by searching WFTX.
After Hurricane Ian, we were all put in a similar situation. We either had to replace or repair our roofs. Well, I'm here with Bill Walter Roofing. Chris, we appreciate you joining us today. After Ian, everybody was looking for your help.
They sure were, and we were glad to get down here and help. I mean, we're open 24/7, 365 in the times of a storm.
Tell me a little bit about this roof.
Well, that's a 26 gauge standing seam Gulf lock, 1-inch ribbed roof.
It's metal. You can't help but notice this is a little different. What's the benefit of a metal roof?
Well, you know, other than the aesthetics, you've got the non-exposed fasteners. That means the wind is going, it's harder to tear off, in other words, than a shingle roof.
Well, that's
Whereas a shingle roof, you have 6-inch tabs exposed up the roof, and if those shingles are 15, 16 years old, not sealed correctly, or if they've been beat on before by the wind, they'll fly off like cornflakes.
You look back and you saw all these storms post-Hurricane Ian. How did the metal roofs perform?
I'm going to say they held up in most places better than shingles, because they're actually screwed down where shingles are nailed. Those standing seam pans, they're screwed every 4 inches up one side, and the other side interlocks into it. And it's a closed system, like around the eaves and the ridges, all that's a sealed system. Whereas a shingle, all it takes is one of them to get loose and wind get up under it, and then you got the kite effect.
Yeah, that's what we always tell everybody. You got to keep the wind out. Once the wind gets in, whether it's a window or a roof, that's the end of the home.
Absolutely. Anything over about 150, 60 mile an hour, if it's sustained, it's going to be hard on anything. But as far as gusts and all go, in my opinion, a metal roof's the best thing smoking.
What is one of the biggest hesitations someone may have about a metal roof?
The money part. The metal is more expensive than shingles, so the money's one of the biggest deterrents.
Sure. What is the benefit of it? Does it last longer?
Yeah, you're going to get close to the life of the metal roof out, but there will be some maintenance over the years. It's not a roof it and don't touch it no more roof, but it'll be 15, 20 years down the road.
What's it sound like inside? Any different with a metal roof?
No, as long as there's good insulation, you might hear it some. Ones that we put the ISO insulation under, that'll about deafen it.
Say I'm interested in a metal roof, a new one from Bill Walter Roofing. How do I get in touch with you guys?
You give us a call. Call our office. You'll talk to probably Darla.
Okay.
And she'll get up with me, and we'll be out within 24 to 48 hours.
For Fox 4, certified meteorologist Trent Eric.
Well, that's all for now. We're going to be here for you on Fox 4 News on TV and online all summer long, where we're watching out for you.
And be sure to download the Fox 4 News app so that way you stay informed throughout the hurricane season. Thanks for staying storm ready with Fox 4.
Fox 4 in your community with journalists who live where you live.
Like many of my neighbors here.
And share stories from your neighborhood every day. Fox 4 in your community.
No compromise in your safety. All Phase Electric, providing residential, commercial, generator, and solar panel services. We can be your one-stop shop for all of your electric service needs. As a certified, trusted Generac Premier dealer, call today and you can receive a free 10-kilowatt air-cooled Generac generator with your purchase of a solar and battery backup system. A $4,000 value free while supplies last. Visit our website or call to see how All Phase Electric can help power your everyday life.
After each AHT installation, a representative visits the customer to ensure the products are working correctly. Customer satisfaction is our first priority. In return, our customers have given us nearly 200 positive reviews. Our rolling screens are one of our most popular products, not only protecting your home from storms, but also providing shade and privacy. You can see out, but you can't see in. Call today or visit us online to discover why.
AHT means quality.
It's good to have a roof over your head. It's even better to have a Bill Walther roof. I'm Darla Walther, 4th generation of roofing professionals right here in Southwest Florida. We're the only company in the area that is Master Pro certified, using the highest quality materials to ensure your home is safe and secure year-round. Plus, no upfront deposits. You only pay when the job is complete.
Bill Walther Roofing.
Often imitated.
Never duplicated.
Call us today for a free estimate.
We love the new playhouse we got for our birthday. Yes, but there's only one problem.
Let me guess, that the floors aren't Cortec?
Yes, that's right. Don't you want your dog to come inside and play?
And for spills, of course. Everybody knows that Cortec is waterproof, kid-proof, and pet-proof.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for letting us get our amazing floors at the family-owned and operated Floormeisters. The Floormeisters.
Just keeping it real.
Don't settle for any pool finish. Choose PebbleTech.
Siesta Pebble will enhance your poolside with a natural finish at a price that fits your budget. It's the high quality you deserve, so go with the real Pebble Tech at Siesta Pebble. Locally owned and operated right here in Southwest Florida, serving our community as a licensed Pebble Tech applicator for 3 decades. Call now or visit our website for a free estimate. Let us make your dream pool a reality. Siesta Pebble is a Fox 4 home expert.
We all have things we'd like to see more of. And if you want to see more savings on your electric bill, you need Seymour Solar. Family owned and operated, Seymour Solar has been serving Southwest Florida for 50 years. From pool heating to full solar electric systems, our experts will customize a personal plan to meet your needs and your budget. See more savings with Seymour Solar. We stick it where the sun does shine. A Fox 4 home expert.